Hi, this is Amir Anzoor from Webpreneur Academy. I'm now standing here with Rehan Allawala, who has 51 different businesses in 6 different countries. An amazing guy, really clued up about the world of technology, and we're gonna ask him a little bit about, Rehan, how did you get started as an entrepreneur?
Well, I didn't used to get a lot of pocket money at home, so when I was in class 3, I started selling stationery to my colleagues in school. And I would take the money from Eid, the pocket money you get at the festival of Eid, bought some stationery and started selling in the class. And then after that, at every Eid and every Independence Day, we would start selling flags and stuff. Everybody else would be just having fun and watching, hanging out. And I'll be sitting outside with my brother and selling flags and stuff to other kids.
And when was it that you didn't? What happened after school? What was your first business or first real full-time income?
So I started my first business, was called Pakistan Computers, when I was class 8.
14 years old.
I was 13 and a half years old, and I started that. And I used to work 3 hours a day after school, and I was selling Commodore 64 games. And after that, I was in class 9. I bought my first business. I actually acquired a business by a friend of mine who was migrating to the US, and it was called Computer Clinic. And he used to service computers at that time in companies like Aga Khan University and a lot of others. So we became a number 1 company to repair and service Commodore 64 computers, and we started refurbishing Commodore 64 computers. That was my second gig, you can say.
So this was in the late 80s, right?
It was 89.
89, okay. Perfect. And then, so when did you first really start feeling that you were a successful entrepreneur?
Oh, I still don't think I'm a successful entrepreneur, but I don't know what successful entrepreneur actually means. I've always been doing it for fun. I've always been doing it to keep myself busy. I was not interested in going out or hanging out with friends, and I was just interested in making a difference in my own life and other people's lives. So I was always doing it with a mission. Say, for example, with the Pakistan Computers, I was a very nationalistic person. My mom poured it in me where I was very nationalistic. So made in Pakistan was very important to me. So I started creating products, voice digitizing hardware, speed increasing hardware, and I had to put made in Pakistan on it. It never sold, but I had made in Pakistan, and really, really quality, cool products. Nobody would imagine they're made in Pakistan, but they were there. And but nobody bought them because I was probably not the best salesperson in the world. But I actually managed to make them, and I blew all my money which I made, and some of the money which I took from my father to blow it off. And I've been trying to return that money ever since.
But then you set up a technology company, mobile company with tens of thousands of customers for voice.
Yeah, I started a company called Super Technologies in 1999 in the US. We used to sell hardware devices where you can make cheap phone calls over the internet. And that sort of died in 3 years because, technology dies in 3 years. It doesn't stay more than 3 years. It died, and then we went into broadband phones, and then we partnered with Vonage in the US. When Vonage and I partnered, we had 2 brands at that time. One was called Superphone, one was called Virtual Phone Line. So when Vonage gave us the product, they didn't give us a billing system. They gave us a product, but they were supposed to give us a billing system, but they never did. So I hired a bunch of people in Pakistan, and I was in the US. I hired some people in Pakistan to write a billing system for the product, which Vonage gave it to us as a white label, and we started getting into making software. And that was the change maker in my life, because first time in my life I was actually not selling other people's products. I had my own products at that time, but I had software, which I think can change anything. You can do anything. As Mark Spencer, is the maker of Asterisk, say, it's just software. If it's software, you can make it. And then that is when I thought it was a great change, and I loved it since then. And I can create anything I want just because it's software. It's just so low cost. It's scalable. You can do anything you want. Anything you can wish for, you can do it. So sometimes I wish I was a software engineer, but which I'm not. I'm just a concept creator. If somebody else has done it, I'll just bang my head a million times on other people's doors till they teach me or my guys how to do it. I'll go out and do it and create a new product. So the product you're talking about started in 2005. We went bust in 2004. I lost all my money again, and I had only 3 or 4 people employed at that time. We had software which could create PBX, a Vonage type product, but a billing system and everything, but we didn't have the VoIP product, VoIP structure for that at the moment because we were outsourcing it from Vonage. And then all of a sudden Asterisk came out, and then we played with it, and we were able to actually remove the Vonage part totally from our business. But then a problem came up, which was that we couldn't find phone numbers to make incoming phone calls. And so we created a platform called didx.org, which would allow people to sell us numbers. So there's a friend of mine in France, he wasn't a friend then, he said, I'll give you 10,000. I can't bill you for that because it's too small of an amount. So I said, why don't I bill you? I won't sell the numbers because it's too less of an amount. And I can't bill you for like 20 numbers because it's like $10. So I said, why don't I build you a billing system which you can use to bill me back? He still never uses it, but we built it for him, and we made it an open platform so anybody can use it. We thought maybe 50 companies would use it. We made it, and before the launch, in 7 months after we made the software and made it online, we got 700 sign up. And that said something. It was like something was going on, and it kept crashing, and we redesigned it, and then eventually people thought that we thought that it's something we can make money off. So we made it into didx.net, and we started charging people, and we became very successful by that accident of making that website. And that is where we make most of our money from. We have over 70 million phone lines from 60 different countries. 25,000 plus companies use that platform in the world, including very large names. So that's a very good product that we have. And as I said, most of our money comes from that. All the other products which we made didx for were not that successful. But this product, which was a byproduct of all the other products, became very successful. So you don't know what works. So everything which I thought will work, it didn't actually work. So everything which I didn't thought will work. It's really weird, right?
So you've been an entrepreneur for over 2 decades.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you ever had a job in those last 2 decades?
No, I tried to have a job for a day in Australia, trying to sell door to door, and I just hated it. I couldn't do it for more than a day. I was there backpacking, and I had just joined it for fun. I never worked for anyone. That's a bad thing. I think I could have learned a lot of things by better mentors if I actually had a job. Like in the US, I sometimes think I should have actually worked, a 9-to-5 job so I could learn the system in the US and everything, but I had to learn it on my own.
But how do you, as an entrepreneur, you're going through these ups and downs, and you're continuously on a roller coaster, I suppose, when your ideas, some make a hit and some don't. How do you get through those periods?
Life is a roller coaster. That's life. If you don't know what's bad, how would you know when it's good? That's what life is all about. To me, life is all in a roller coaster, and right now I'm enjoying the high side of it, and I'm of course scared that it might turn into a bad day anyways, because again, technology is a space where nothing lasts. Nothing lasts for more than a few years, and now all of didx is already 5 years old, and it's still growing. So I'm a little scared, what will happen next. So I don't know. So now I'm getting into the social entrepreneurships, and I'm using all this money which is coming in from didx. I'm taking all the money, my salary, everything goes to this new project, the Supertec Foundation project, which is to create 1 million new businesses, and didx is funding all that. And I'm hoping that all the good karma will keep my money coming in. So I want to help 1 million people to make at least $300 a month, because most of the people in the world, 4 billion of them, make less than $30 a month. And I want to help them make at least $300 a month, so that I don't think I can make things cheaper, and it's not right to make things cheaper in my opinion. However, you can make more money for those people. You can teach them how to make more money for the people, and then they can go out and make how much money they want to make. And I'm just teaching them how to do it.
So you're aiming at the bottom of the pyramid, as you say. Now, what is it that prevents that person from making income?
I think it's the fear. They're just very afraid of making money because they have never made it. They've always been at the bottom of the pyramid. A lot of them have been at the bottom of the pyramid. If you look at it, the people who have made it very high were at the bottom of the pyramid. They came up because of some knowledge and some desperation inside them. So we need to infuse that part in those people, and after that we also have to give them the knowledge of that this is how you do it. If you give a person $200 and say go start a samosa shop at the corner or start shoe polishing business, they wouldn't do it because they wouldn't know how to do it. So you have to take the existing businesses, show them, prove it to them that look, this guy was a pauper, he made it out there, so can you. So we're documenting all of this in a video format because if we see it, we believe it. And with the 3D movies now, you can actually feel it also to a certain extent. So I'm creating these videos, putting them online, putting them on mobile phones and making them available in massive scale so that anybody can just download a video and go to the nearest mobile shop and say, here's 20 cents, please give me the how to make a biryani, you know. And he can learn how to do that.
And they're already online, some of them are starting?
70 of our businesses are online. We're trying to make 100 businesses, which can be replicated at least 10,000 times each. And each business has to start with $100. And then they have to make $300 a month. Of course, day one, they wouldn't make $300, but they don't hire anyone. They have to work hard with their own hands. A lot of people ask me, can I invest $100? So it's not about investing, it's about learning how to do it. And then you grow it. So you start with one, and then you can scale it to however you want to scale it. If you want to have more than one, go for it.
Okay, and so now you are a big believer in processes and systems, right? So I see even your company, the way you run your technology company, you say whenever someone hires someone, they have to create training videos to teach all their employees. Can you explain a little bit about how this works?
So Pakistan is a country which has had a lot of growth in the last few years, and we had constant problem of people leaving us. Even if we pay double, they would still leave us because they might migrate to some other country, pay 10 times, get 10 times more money, which we cannot pay. So we had to retain knowledge somehow. So the criteria of growth in our company now is that if you can hire 2 more people to do your job and teach them through video, everything you have, every process which you do, you have to make a video for it, teach it through video to someone, and then those 2 people which you have trained have to make further videos to make sure that they are teaching somebody else. And they're so good that they can make those videos to teach someone else. If you do that, you get a 20% salary increment, and you get a week's off paid salary, and then you choose whatever job you want to do in our company. And you can grow yourself 4 times a year like this if you want. So process becomes very important. So if a person leaves, we are happy that he's leaving for a better salary, and the job is not suffering also. Knowledge is now retained back in a video format, in an easy to understand format, and how to do this stuff. It has to be very easy to understand.
Okay, and what's some advice that you would give to first-time entrepreneurs just looking to start out? What would you wish you knew back in the late 80s, and some of the good advice that you've got?
I think people should take a risk a little bit, not too much, and do as much risk they're willing to take, or take small risk and take 1 step. Don't just think about it, take a step, just take a physical step of doing anything, and it could literally be 1 step of, okay, here's $1, I'm putting it here to start my business, here's a step towards doing it, here's a phone call I'm going to make for doing this, here's something I'm doing it for that, because now you have that $1 there, it's like a brick, you know, every building has the first brick, so you lay down the brick ceremony that you are actually going to do it, and don't do it too big, do it small. When you're ready, you will do another step, and then you will do another step, but don't just think about it, take a step. You might fail, that's fine, but you might succeed. So, and get a mentor, and do a lot of research, invest your time in researching and getting mentors, and getting the right knowledge. Depends what kind of business you're going to be in. If you're a tech firm, it's very easy to do nowadays because all that knowledge is already on YouTube. So it's pretty easy to actually start. It's just that we are our biggest obstacle ourselves. So if you can believe in yourself and take the first step, you might just be successful.
Great stuff. And I see that you do a lot of speaking now across the world, and you're right now in UAE. You've done some big talks. where can people connect with you, and how can people check out your stuff and get in touch with Rehan?
Go to rehan.com, rehan.com. You can connect to me on Facebook. There's a team of mine which schedules now my speaking schedules. You can get in touch with me and I can introduce you to the team, and then you can get in touch with them and I can speak. And I have this criteria: there has to be at least 500 people, and you know, it has to make sense for me to actually speak there, right? I just don't pop up anymore. I've done at least 50 to plus gigs so far. I've not had a single guy who would say it wasn't great. So I'm probably doing something great, and you can also watch all of them on rehan.com, so you can get an idea what I do. I speak on entrepreneurship, I speak on hyper growth, I speak on collaboration, I speak on entrepreneurship, and I speak about my million businesses, because again, the million business is just a start, because there are 4 billion people out there. So I need we need all of us need at least 4,000 people like me to start a million of each, so that 4 billion people can be reached out. So everything I'm doing in the Million Business Project is on supertec.org, and it's on open source. So my wish is that the next guy would come in and start 10 million businesses and 100 million businesses and think even bigger, because I'm laying down the bricks and laying down the processes, and then the next guy just have to come in and cash it and take it and grow on top of what I've already done. So I'm hoping that you will take me up on it, and something will happen out of it.
Okay, great stuff, Rehan Allawala. We'll catch you on rehan.com. Thanks for